Welcome to another video from EarnPed.com. I am StevieB. We have plenty of sips, smacks, and spit for all the haters out there today. We hope you guys are doing well. Guys, as you probably know, this is the second video I've pumped out today, but it is one that I wanted to get out there for you guys, so let's get right to it. So first of all, guys, I am actually here at Ortho's West Mound hunting merps. These are a fun little creature that a lot of newer players like to hunt. They're level 5, but they do hit fast and they do hit hard. This is something that you will definitely need armor if you want to hunt. There is a daily that you can get for merps if you just get lucky when you're getting your daily missions and get the roll of the dice and get the merp mission. So you might want to come here because killing 80 of these can get you that daily coin should you get this mission. For some reason, a lot of people just like to hunt them. They're a low-level creature. They're not my favorite, but the reason I am hunting them is I currently need merpool. As I said in a video the other day, I'm currently in need of a pretty decent stock of merpool. So if there's any Stevies out there that have some merpool and you see this before Halloween 2020, shoot me a line, drop me a private message. Guys, one thing that has come to my attention is a lot of people seem to think I never play Entropia because if you look me up, I'm not in the user register and it shows me as being offline for like 70 plus days. So here's the thing, guys. I am literally logged in every single day, usually for several hours a day. The reason it shows me as being offline is there are a number of privacy settings that you can use that keep you out of the user register, avoid letting people know when you're online or where you are. These are all different privacy settings you can set. In fact, I will show them to you real quick because I want this to be something that people know. So if you hit O and pull up your settings, you can go to privacy. You can do incognito mode, hide offline time, visible in user register. So I am in incognito mode. My online status is not being shared and I am not visible in the user register, even though this says that I am. It's something I need to throw a line to Mindark about because I can't seem to change it. But the thing about it is I don't want people knowing when I'm online for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't want people knowing when I'm online during Mayhem. That's a big one. A lot of it's competition related. A lot of it's also mining related. I don't just want everybody knowing where I am 24 hours a day. If I go into a lootable PvP zone, I don't want people to just log in and be like, oh, where's StevieB? Oh, look, he's in lootable PvP. Let's go kill his ass and take his loot. Right? So there's a couple of reasons I do that. But guys, trust me, I am here all the time. So here's the thing, guys. If you don't have me on your friends list, my avatar link is not that hard to get. You can get it from Toker. You can get it from anybody in the University of EU Society. There are plenty of people in-game that have my link, even if you can't find it in the user register. If you will shoot me a private message, if the message goes through, it means I'm logged in. If it tries to send it to me as in-game mail, it means I am not logged in. I asked one of my really good friends this morning, I said, hey, why didn't you even say good morning? And she said, well, I can't see when you're online, remember? She knows my schedule so well, and she's just gotten in a habit of private messaging me, hey, how's it going? That I thought she could see when I was logged in. I didn't even think she doesn't have any special privileges other players don't have. She just knows my schedule that well, and when she wants to see if I'm online, her default message is just, hey, how are you doing? So to me, it seemed like she knew right when I logged in, but it was really just she knows my schedule that well. So that being said, let's move on to the topic of today's video, guys. Remember, if you have merpool, definitely holler at me. As you can see, these guys definitely hit hard. I mean hard. And I'm wearing armor. So how often do you guys ever see me have to stop to heal? Virtually never. And remember, I have lifesteal. So today I want to talk about enhancers. Now here's the thing. A lot of people will tell you that enhancers are a waste of money. And I'm usually one of them. I get a lot of new players that come to me and they say, well, I want to use enhancers on this weapon or that weapon. Do you have any I can buy? Do you have any recommendations? And the general wisdom that's out there is enhancers are a waste of money. The general wisdom is if you need enhancers, what you really need is more skills or a new weapon, or you need to climb the limited weapon ladder, right? So, to some extent, this is true, but it's a very, very small extent because there's a number of different enhancers out there. So, I want to show you guys what I mean by this. As you guys know, I've been skilling Mind Force lately because it's one of the few things I can skill between mayhems, right? So, let me kill this merp right here, and then I will show you an example of what I'm talking about. First of all, let's forget enhancers for a second. Let's just look at skills. So, I'm a huge advocate of using limited weapons because limited weapons max very, very quickly. Very quickly. And the old school unlimited weapons do not, right? So I brought with me one of the old school unlimited weapons I had in my storage. It's a genuine design clone GDC 97 tier 4.49. So let's take a look at it. So if we start with the first page, we see that it does 25.5 damage per second. The info page is where we really want to pay attention. So we see that this weapon has a recommended level of level 100 range BLP damage and BLP sniper. So clearly I am not level 100. I'm only 42.4 and 43.3, right? We see that it has 700 ammo burn, can do 41 attacks per minute, has a max damage interval of 18.5 over 37. And we see that it's got a range of 77 meters. And my hit and critical hit ability are 6.6 over 10, 6.6 over 10. What this means is I am not maxed. So I can do the full attacks per minute. I cannot do the full damage interval. The weapon is capable of 18.5 to 37. I can only do 13.2 to 37, which means I would lose some amount of money by doing less than the full damage. But what's really important is those last two, that hit ability and critical hit ability. That's what I really want you to look at. So if that is 0 over 10, 0 over 10, what that means is you're going to miss every single time. No matter how many shots you get off, if you're 0 over 10, 0 over 10 on your hit and your critical hit ability, you're going to miss every single time. You're still wasting ammo, you're still wasting decay, but you're just going to miss every time. This is why I tell people, do not use a weapon until you can do literally almost the full attacks per minute, almost the full damage interval, and you have almost 10 over 10, 10 over 10. Now, when I say almost, I mean maybe you can do 1 or 2 less attacks per minute. Maybe your damage interval is 17 through 37, not 18.5 through 37. But you would have to be like 9.5, 9.5 over 10, 9.5 over 10 before it would really make sense to use a weapon like this. So here's the situation I found myself in. I got a kinetic attack nano chip level 7 because it does 42.8 damage per second, which is decent for Mind Force. And whenever I first started, I could do some of the attacks per minute. I could barely do any of the damage interval. I was doing like 11 through 50 damage. And this thing's capable of like 65 through 130, right? But I had 0 over 10 and 0 over 10, so I tested it just to be sure. And sure enough, every single shot was a miss. Not I landed 1 in 10, not I landed 1 in 20. No matter how many shots I got off, I missed every single shot because I was 0 over 10, 0 over 10. So I went back to a lower level chip, and I started skilling, and I brought that up to 8.8 over 10 and 8.4 over 10. Now if you notice, I've almost got it maxed. This will officially be maxed when I hit level 27 electrokinetic hit, 5 levels above the recommended. So once I hit that, I'll have it maxed. So I'm 1.4 levels away, right? So what if I don't want to wait till I have it all the way maxed? Could I start sooner? Sure. I can do almost the full attacks per minute. I'm only missing 2. I can do the full damage range, but it's this hit and critical hit that is super, super important. Even if I could do the full attacks per minute and full damage range, I'm still not going to hit as often as I should. Not until I have 10 over 10, 10 over 10, right? So I don't necessarily want to wait all the way till 10 over 10, but I want to get really close. I want to be like 9.9 over 10, 9.6 over 10. That would be the bare minimum acceptable for me. Anything less than that is just a waste, right? Because you're missing more than you should. That means wasted ammo burn, wasted decay. You're going to miss naturally some amount of the time. Even if you're fully maxed 10 over 10, 10 over 10, you're still going to miss some amount of your shots. But if you miss any shots because you're less than 10 over 10, 10 over 10, then that is misses that are adding up simply because of your skill deficiency. That is money you're wasting simply because of skill deficiency. So how do we solve that? Well, one way we can solve that is with enhancers. So let's back up a minute. The reason people say that enhancers are a waste is because typically when we're talking about enhancers, what we're talking about is these guys right here. Damage enhancers. Damage enhancer 1, damage enhancer 2, damage enhancer 3, damage enhancer 4. As you can tell, I have thousands of PED worth of damage enhancers, right? So these are the ones that we typically think of. They're the ones that each one allows you to do 10% more damage, 10% more ammo burn, 10% more decay. These are the ones that we use during Mayhem. These are the ones that have the ridiculously high markups. They're ridiculously expensive to make. You've got to have pyrite to make them. Very few people in-game can craft anything but beyond a damage enhancer 1 or 2, right? And typically, those are the ones people are wanting to use. Because new players don't care about their accuracy, they care about how much damage can I put out. Okay, so those are the ones that we generally say they're probably not worth using except in competition. In competition, they're worth using because you win the competition, you make money. Outside of competition, in your day-to-day hunt, it would be horribly, horribly uneconomical to use damage enhancers. There might be very, very, very few exceptions to that. But generally speaking, it makes almost no sense to use damage enhancers outside of a competition setting, right? And because of that, we just kind of across the board say we shouldn't use enhancers. Well, that's not true. Now, again, I advocate limited weapons. I know, guys, I was a new player once, and I used to tell people, well, I'm not doing the limited weapons. I'm going to use only unlimited, because limited is a waste of money. I wasted thousands of PED before I realized limited was the way to go. Yes, you have to pay markup, but you're not losing money because of skill deficiency. You're not losing money because of shit efficiency. So if we notice, this shit level 100 unlimited weapon that only does 25 damage per second has a whopping shit efficiency of 48.9. That's pathetic by any standard nowadays, right? But let's say for some odd reason that I decided I needed to use this weapon. What I could do is I could add these accuracy enhancers to it. And notice it brings my critical hit from 6.6 up to 7.9 over 12. That's pretty impressive, right? So I just went from 6.6 on my critical hit to 7.9. Now, used to, these affected both your hit and your critical hit. Now they seem to only affect critical hit. And I think the reason that is because critical hit tends to lag so far behind hit ability most of the time that's where you really need it. That's where it's got the most utility, the most value, right? I could add a accuracy enhancer 2 to the second unlocked enhancer slot, and I could raise it even further, almost to 10 over 10. Now, I would still be losing money because my hit ability is severely deficient, but my critical hit ability would be maxed out. So if I really absolutely, for some reason, had to use this weapon, just absolutely had to, the smartest way to do it would be to add these accuracy enhancers to get my critical hit ability as high as possible. Now, once you go above 10 over 10, I can't really see that there's any difference. I had a weapon that I was already 10 over 10 on, and I added accuracy enhancers back when they affected both hit and critical hit, and I got 12 over 12, 12 over 12. And to me, I didn't see any difference. I was missing the same amount. There was no magic gap where I suddenly wasn't missing at all. Actually, guys, I am pretty sure that these should be affecting hit ability too, because they always have. As long as I've been playing the game, they've affected both hit and critical hit. So I'm actually going to send a support case into MindArt to let them know about this after this video, because it really should have raised both my hit and critical hit to 7.9 over 12, 7.9 over 12. So once you get to 10 over 10, 10 over 10, is there necessarily a reason to use accuracy enhancers? No. But in the event you absolutely have to use something that your hit and critical hit ability are not maxed on, accuracy enhancers are definitely the way to go. First of all, they're not as expensive as damage enhancers, so they're fairly economical to buy. Second of all, the money you're going to save from having that extra boost on your hit and critical hit ability is much, much greater than the decay and ammo burn you're going to spend on all those missed shots by having that skill deficiency. Much greater. If you're watching this video early when I post it, let me get the support case into Mind Arc, because it really should be affecting both critical hit and regular hit. And for some reason, the past few days since the update, it's only affecting critical hit. So Mind Arc needs to be made aware of that. It's probably a bug from the last update. So that's one reason that we want to use accuracy enhancers. So give you guys back to my example. Let's go back, check out that Mind Force chip I'm about to be using. So I've got to open an enhancer slot. This one is not tiered. So with unlimited items, we have to skill them up. Then we have to physically tier them and open that socket by putting items that have markup in that the system tells us it needs to unlock it. With limited items, those sockets open naturally. So unfortunately, this is a slow tier increase rate item, but I will be able to open that first socket up with a fair bit of effort, and I'll be able to throw that accuracy enhancer on there, and I'll be able to raise my critical hit ability to 10/10 pretty easily, right? So I really could start using it right now. The only reason I'm not is because they are currently only affecting the critical hit and not the hit and critical hit. Otherwise, I probably would have already started using it. I would rather spend a little bit of markup, support the game, support the economy, and use some accuracy enhancers than to waste money willy-nilly with decay and ammo burn from missing just because I have a skill deficiency. Now, there's other ways to fix this problem. You could go out and buy skills. You could. That would be incredibly expensive. You could continue to skill naturally. That is an option if you have materials available or the money to spend. I happen to, not everybody does. But accuracy enhancers, I think for most people, allow them to get that last little push when you've already got the attacks per minute, when you've already got the full damage interval, and you're almost there. By almost, I mean 8.5/10 or higher. It's that last little push that those accuracy enhancers really help. Accuracy enhancer 1 is all you really will need 99% of the time. Maybe there's some rare exception where you need 2 accuracy enhancers to get you there, but that would be a rare exception. If that's the case, you probably need to go skill some more, to be quite honest. So, guys, enhancers, generally speaking, get a bad rap because they used to break randomly. Now they break in proportion to their usefulness. And because damage enhancers are the ones that everybody wants to go for. Guys, there are tons of other types of enhancers out there. Some of the time, you have to use an enhancer. So let me give you guys a good example of this. Accuracy enhancers are good for new players because new players tend to have skill deficiencies, right? But what about mining? If we look at my F106 mining finder, it's tier 6. I'm trying to get it to tier 7. Notice I've got 6 mining depth finder enhancers on it at all time because I want as much depth as I can get. I would not run my F106 without depth enhancers on it. That would be absolutely insane because I'd be giving up free depth. I would be losing more money than I was making. So I always run depth enhancers on my F106. Now I would never run depth enhancers on a TT finder or an F101 or an F103. That would also be insanity. I don't run enhancers on my BP20 FEN, even though I did open that first item tier. Notice I could upgrade it again. So why haven't I? Well, if I want to upgrade it from tier 1 to tier 2, because it's an FEN weapon and they're ungodly expensive to tier, here's the list of stuff I would need. 680 Gaganite ingot, 857 Garson lubricant, 1633 pile of garnets, 3,267 blazer fragments, 1,108 tier 2 components. That is a ton of stuff just to upgrade this to tier 2. And honestly, it's not a competition weapon. It is an FEN weapon. It is super high efficiency. But at this point, it would almost make more sense to just sell it and get a bigger weapon like the LR40 FEN than it does to tier it all the way to tier 10. If this is how expensive it is just to get to tier 2, tier 10 is going to be even more ungodly expensive because at some point you start needing opals. Opals have like 400% markup. All this stuff right here I could do pretty easy. I've got the Garnets, I got the Blazers, I've got the tier 2 components, I've got most of the Gaganite, and I can get the Garson lubricant pretty easy because I go through that stuff like water. But beyond that, let's say I wanted to get it to tier 3, tier 4, I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars on opals when I could just sell the gun and get a better gun that actually is worth tiering, right? The BP-20 FEN, great gun. I've had it ever since the FEN event. I don't plan to get rid of it anytime soon, but it's an example of how you don't just want to tier everything unlimited all willy-nilly, right? Let's look at some other enhancers. So there's all kinds of enhancers, guys, some of which you don't want to use ever, some of which you want to use all the time. So we've got damage and accuracy, we've already talked about. We've got mining finder depth enhancers, which I showed you guys on my F106. We've got economy enhancers. Economy enhancers are pretty expensive. They slow the decay and ammo burn by 1%, only 1%. Why would you waste a 1,000% markup buying something that only gives you a 1% decay benefit? What if you have an item that's so super valuable with such super high markup, saving 1% makes you $20, 200 PED? Then it'd be worth it, right? There are items like that in game. We've got armor durability enhancers 1, 4. We've got defense enhancers 1 and durability enhancer 2. So defense enhancers increase the amount of defense armor provides. Durability enhancers make the armor last longer. We've got medical tool economy enhancer 2. So again, it makes a limited medical tool last longer. It slows decay. We've got medical tool heal enhancer 1 and 2. That increases the amount of heal a limited FAP would do. And then we've got mining finder range enhancers. So these, unlike depth enhancers, which allow you to go further down, extend the range of your mining finder. So instead of 55 meters, maybe you go 60 or 65 meters out, right? Makes your circle bigger, not deeper, bigger. And this is just some of the enhancers that are in game. There are tons of different types of enhancers in game. And again, some of these you want to use all the time. If I'm mining outdoors on planet, I use depth enhancers. If I'm mining indoors, let's say a place like FOMA, I'm not going to use depth enhancers. I'm going to get a limited finder, not my F106, but a limited finder that's already got freakishly amazing depth. And I'm going to get range enhancers, because when I'm mining indoor, I only have a 5% hit rate. So I'm going to miss 95% of the time. Also, indoor mining finders are usually preamped. They use many more probes than a regular finder. So I want to increase my range. They've already got the depth I need. I want the range when I'm indoor, right? And since I'm not a gambler, I don't do a lot of indoor mining. When I'm mining with my F106, I want to always be using depth finders. When I'm competing, I want to always be using damage enhancers. When I'm not competing, I want to virtually never be using depth enhancers. So the big takeaway I want you guys to get from this video, because I understand most of my subs are newer players, is that maxing your weapons are so important. So important. You want to be sure, no matter what weapon you're using, and I'm telling you guys, limited is the way to go, you want to be sure you're doing almost those full attacks per minute before you ever start using it. You want to be sure you're doing almost that full damage interval before you ever start using it. And you have to be sure you're 10 over 10, 10 over 10 on your hit and critical hit ability before you ever start using it. Now 9.7 over 10, 9.6 over 10 isn't going to kill you. But 3 over 10, 4 over 10, 7 over 10 is going to kill you. The losses from decay and ammo burn are going to be so extraordinary, you're just going to shake your head and be like, why are my returns so shitty? I've just got to quit. I can't keep spending money like this. So if you're almost there, if you've got the attacks per minute, if you've got the damage interval, and if you're 8.5, 8.6 over 10, throw an accuracy enhancer 1 on it. Get you that extra little bit. Do not lose money because of your skill gap. Do not lose money because of your skill deficiency. Use that little bit of markup that you have to pay for that accuracy enhancer 1, and don't waste money all willy-nilly. Now guys, like I said, they really should be affecting both hit and critical hit ability. That's what they've always done. After this last update, they seem to only affect critical hit ability. I will be sending in a support case after I post this video to MindArt to let them know that, because honestly, I just don't think they're aware of it. I do not think it was a change they planned to make, or they would have made some kind of a statement about it. They would have told us. That's something important enough, they would have made it known, right? So you might not want to do it right this second, but keep this in mind, because I'm sure they will fix it pretty quickly, and guys, it will save you a ton. I'm telling you, check your stats on your weapons. If you're more or less maxed, if you've got the damage interval and you've got the attacks per minute, but you are not 10 over 10, that is where your problem lies. Of course you're getting shitty return. Of course you're getting crap loot, because that 10 over 10 is so vitally, vitally important. You can almost make the 10 over 10 more important than the damage interval and more important than the attacks per minute. It's really that important. So guys, that is kind of my quick down and dirty guide to accuracy enhancers and why they're so important, and kind of debunking the myth that enhancers are just a waste of money. During the right context, for the right purpose, enhancers can be a tremendous lifesaver. I think the more proper thing to say is using the right enhancer when the situation calls for it can be incredibly eco and incredibly smart. Using the wrong enhancer when the situation does not call for it is an utter waste of money. I think that's what we should say, instead of just saying enhancers are bad across the board. So guys, let me remind you, if you've got merpool, I'm definitely interested in buying it between now and Halloween. If you're looking for enhancers, hit me up. I've usually got plenty on hand. Guys, from earnped.com, I've been StevieB. I'm going to leave it there for today. Hit that bell and subscribe so you know when we post new videos. Go back, watch all of our previous videos, hit like, comment on each video. If we get enough likes, if we get enough comments on all the videos we've posted, we've got a super special video the Stevies will get to help us make that will show you guys some of the best information about free and low-cost skills and ways to get them that have been built into the game all along, but like much of Entropia lore have just been forgotten about. You guys will absolutely love it. Very high-value skills. Keep them, skill them, sell them. It's going to be up to you. But guys, you want to see this video, so let's get those like and those comment numbers up, because the haters are hitting dislike every time I post a video. So it's up to the Stevies to help support us. If you really want to support us, hop over to earnped.com. When you earn, we earn, and that is by far the best way to support us. Remember, we're paying 50% more for those yummy hideout.tv points. We will be continuing to do that. Tonight, we have somebody who is getting paid 1,100 PED, 110 US dollars, simply because they used earnped.com consistently for the past 3 months. So guys, for earnped.com, I've been StevieB. I hope this has been very informative. I'll get that support case into MindArc, and I hope to see you guys using accuracy enhancers very, very soon. Smack, smack, spit, spit, fuck the haters. Take care, Stevies.